Salut le peuple! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be telling you how I grew my Instagram following by 40,000 in a year. So if you're into that, stay tuned. This video is going to be divided in two parts. The first part is going to be the tips that I give you, and the second part is going to be the Q&A. So first things first, you gotta figure out your why. I'm not even gonna lie, why do you want to do this? And actually think about it for a second, because that will be the force that drives you throughout this whole thing. Do you want to build an actual community, or do you just want clout? Do you just want free stuff? I'll tell you right now, if you're going for the clout, for the free stuff, you're not gonna last. I'm sorry. That's my personal opinion. I don't think you're gonna last. The key to having a big following and keeping that big following is really growing a community. If you find yourself just wanting to be an influencer for the perks, I mean, I don't blame you, because a side of it is very glamorous looking, but it's a lot of hard work. And don't be fooled by what you see online. Half of the people are lying, and half of the people just make it look easy. Just because we make it look easy doesn't mean that it's easy. Let me tell you that much. Number two would be to research. I personally believe that's the most important thing out of everything I'm gonna say, almost. Do your research. You would not start a new job, choose a program at school, date someone without getting to know a bit about that program, getting to know about that person. So why would you want to throw yourself into the influencing world or content creation world without doing a bit of research? What are you getting yourself into? I can't even stress enough and tell you guys how much time I spend researching and learning about my craft. Let's call it a craft. Look at what other people are doing. Figure out your niche. You often hear the word niche, which is what kind of sector do you want to do? Do you want to do cars? Do you want to do sports? Do you want to do travel? Do you want to do cooking? Do you want to do family? Do you want to do fashion? Do you want to do beauty? Do you want to do photography? There's so many niches that you can operate in the terms of influencing and content creation. You don't have to be stuck to one. You can actually mix them, but just figure out like what kind of content are you trying to put out. When someone goes on your page, they should be able, by like the first few posts, be like, okay, I'll take myself for example. Hermantha, she likes beauty, she likes fashion, she likes language, she likes blah blah blah. If people go on your page and they're confused, it might be time to switch things up just a little bit. I think it's also very good to have people to look up to, influencers that you see are successful and you like their content. What do they do? What kind of equipment do they have? You have to learn the lingo. Terms such as usage rights, whitelisting, paid usage, organic usage, reposting, partnerships, all those words, you should know what they mean. Once you start creating content, you're well informed. And it's gonna make things way easier when it comes to navigating, when you deal with brands, when you deal with other people. You'll just know what you're getting yourself into and be way more confident when it's time to put out content. Number three, be consistent. I know you guys have heard that one before, and shoot, I'm even guilty of this one. I don't even think I'm the most consistent person. Instagram, yes. YouTube, I mean, just look at my channel. We praise God because things are about to change. But seriously, be consistent. We are literally on our phones all day, every day, consuming so much media. If you don't post, how are people gonna remember you? They're not gonna remember you. They're gonna forget you. If you post every 3 weeks, do you think you're gonna show up on people's pages? The more you post, the more Instagram pushes out your content to people. Things started really picking up for me last year. And when I started in 2020, I would look at all my favorite influencers, YouTubers, and I was like literally researching. That's why I'm saying research is so important. I was looking at their pages. Okay, what have they been doing? When did they start popping off? Like, what happened? And I noticed that most of them had 3 or 4 years of consistency under their belt before they started seeing significant results. So you have to be consistent. And the thing with consistency, it also helps you get better at what you do. Your editing skills, your picture skills, video skills, all the skills that you need to create content will get better with time the more that you're consistent, because you get to practice more. It's kind of like going to the gym. The more you use that muscle, the more it grows. If you don't use your muscles, they atrophy. I don't know how to pronounce that word, but regardless, you know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with content. You have to be consistent. You have to be consistent, and I'm sorry, there's just no way to go around it. There's no way to sugarcoat it. Without consistency, in my opinion, you will not be successful. You might go viral off of the 1-2 thing, but even then, you go viral, what next? Tip number 4, you need to be putting out quality content. Now, by quality content, I don't mean like a whole cinematic production, like no, but is your content good? Like, let's be honest. If the content you would put out by someone else, Would you want to follow them or not? I'm not necessarily talking about the visual quality of your content. Yes, that's important, but you don't need the fanciest cameras. With your phone, decent lighting, you could really put out great content. But my thing is, what are you bringing to the table? It's like the question guys ask all the time, what do you bring to the table? That's literally the same thing. What are you bringing to the table? What are you offering your followers? What are you teaching them? What makes you stand out? Why should I want to consume what you're feeding me? There has to be something of value. There has to be something that attracts me. The content that performs the best on my page is hair content, specifically natural hair content. People eat it up and I love it. I do tutorials, styling videos, whatever you name it, I'll do it. I also do wig installs. I love doing wig installs, but when I look at my analytics, is it the same? No, it's not the same. My followers don't care as much for my wig installs compared to my natural hair videos. Why? I don't just style, I inform them, I educate them on how to take care of their hair. How do you retain length? How do you have healthy hair? All that information is valuable to my followers, and that's why I have a community that appreciates my content, that sticks with me, and that keeps on growing because they actually get to learn something. And that brings me to my next point. Review your analytics. When you turn your Instagram into a business account, it'll show you all of your insights, all your analytics. You can see everything, how many people like your stuff, where your followers from, how old are they, is it a female audience, is it a male audience? All those things are given to you by Instagram, and they're not there for fun. They're not just wasting their time and putting stuff here for you to ignore. No, don't just post and go. When you post something, a few days after, a few hours after, look at your analytics, see what has been working, see what hasn't been working. If this has been working for you, keep this concept in mind. Maybe it's a catchphrase that you use in the beginning. Use it again. If it works for you, stick to that thing and use it over and over again. If it didn't work, look at your thing. Where did I go wrong? Was this video good? How was my energy in this video? How was the quality? There's so many factors that when you take the time and you review your content, you review your analytics, that will actually make you think of how you can improve for the next time. I literally have an obsession with reviewing my analytics. And the good side about that is that now I know what my following likes and what they don't like. Last but not least, have fun. Like, I can't even stress this enough. Have fun. No one's forcing you to do this. This is not jail. This is not an obligation. You don't have anyone holding you on gun, but like, create some content. Like, that's not a thing. Like, that's not a thing. Don't take yourself too seriously. Don't start losing sleep, not eating, and being sad because your posts are not performing well. Like, yes, it's important, but it's not quote unquote that deep. When people look at your content, they'll be able to tell, is this really a passion of yours? Don't give up. If this is really something you want to pursue, I'm 110% confident if you apply all of those tips, you will be able to see some growth. Don't be discouraged. Start to appreciate the followers that you have. You know, at first I'd look at others with more numbers and I'd be like, oh my gosh, I have 2,000, it sucks. 2,000 people were in front of me and I had to speak in front of 2,000 people. I'd be scared because that's a lot of people. So hopefully that could kind of change your perspective. Those are 5 general tips that I could give you that would help you grow your following. If you have more questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. I will answer them, and now I'll be moving on to the second part of this video, which is the Q&A, more specific questions that my followers have asked me in terms of my journey, how I did it, and I'll be answering those right now. Okay, Q&A time. I got all my questions here. Let's get to it. First question, how did you start? I've always liked being on Instagram. I really love photography, taking pictures of others, myself. Essentially, a lot of people were requesting me to start a YouTube channel. They told me I'd be good at YouTube. So I had my first skincare giveaway on Instagram. Then I started doing YouTube, and now it's been 2 years, almost 3 years. How did I manage to grow my account? If you haven't watched the first part yet, I think you should. I answer all your questions. Yeah, just go watch the first part. How long have you been working as an influencer? 2 years and some change, going on 3 years. I create content on Instagram mainly. I'm also on TikTok and I'm on YouTube. How do you stay consistent? I'm not the best when it comes to consistency, well, on this platform anyways. I stay consistent because I just love doing it. I love creating content so much. I love being in front of the camera. I love doing my hair. I love doing my makeup, and I love sharing it with people. It makes me feel like I have like a community of people who like the same thing that I do. I also decided to last year take my Instagram seriously. I really wanted to monetize it, make sure it was another source of income. So yeah, that's how I remain consistent. Are you part of any influencer groups, any besties online, or do you stay to yourself? I am not part of any influencer groups. When I just started though, I remember there were quite a few of us. I'm Canadian, in case you didn't know. I'm in Ottawa. There were a few of us. I was from Ottawa, a lot from Montreal. We all supported each other. A lot of us started YouTube around the same time, so we'd have like a little group and page. So we'd be a lot of creators, YouTubers. We followed each other, commented on each other's things, watched each other's things, shared each other's things. That was in 2020. Ever since, honestly, no, that group has dissolved. I'm not part of any influencer groups. I don't have any influencer besties, if I could say like that, honestly. I do have some of my girls. Shout out to Candy, shout out to Nessa, shout out to Itzina, shout out to Rit. Those are my girls. Those are the girls that I guess you would consider influencer besties, but honestly, just not really. I'm Canadian, and influencing is not really a thing here unless you're like in Toronto or Vancouver. It's still a fairly new industry in Canada, so compared to people in Europe, people in the States, I feel like they connect really well. I'm not really like that. I guess I kind of keep to myself, but I do follow a lot of natural hair influencers from the United States, parts of Europe, Africa as well. I love my Nigerian content creators. They be going ham, Ghanaian as well. So yeah, what equipment do you use, camera, etc.? In terms of equipment, clearly this video is super cute. Shout out to my baby girl. I got myself a new camera. It's a Canon EOS R7. It's a fairly new camera. I think it came out like about a year ago. I'm currently using it with the lens that it came with. It's an 18 to 150 millimeter lens. Well, that's an RF lens. I also have a 50 millimeter lens. It's an EF lens, so I do have to buy a converter to use it on this camera. I use my phone, the iPhone 13 Pro. I bought this for content. I just knew that I had to step it up before I had an iPhone XR, and it just wasn't cutting it. I was looking at all the girls and I'm like, so I got myself iPhone 13. I have a ring light, I have two soft boxes, I have a light for my phone, I have a bigger light to take pictures outside, I have two backdrop sets, I have reflectors. I have a lot of equipment. I don't get to use all of it just because of space. Half of it I bought myself and half of it my family bought for me as presents. Just support me. And I also use my MacBook Pro for editing YouTube videos. What editing software do you use, and do you have a schedule? For my YouTube videos specifically, I use Final Cut Pro. I had to pay the full $400. That really hurt, but you gotta invest in your craft if you want to get better. When it comes to my Instagram Reels, I use InShot. I also use Canva to create my reel covers or any thumbnails for YouTube. Ooh, I love this question. How did I know this was something God wanted for me to do versus my own desires to influence? If you don't know, I am a Christian. I love Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. It's always a thing that I've had in me. Like I said, ever since I'm a kid, I always loved taking pictures. I love photography. I love dressing up. I love putting on makeup. It came to a point where I had my Instagram page and I was just bored of people complimenting on my appearance. Like, to me, there was no substance. I wanted to connect with people. I wanted to have good conversations. Have a pop of Jesus, have a sprinkle of Jesus on my page. So when I decided to take my Instagram seriously, I prayed. That's the first thing. If you're Christian, honestly, I will encourage you 100% to pray. You can't do anything without prayer. But hey, I really want my Instagram to work. I really want to take it seriously. I believe, because that's within God's will for my life, to be on this platform and influence. He allowed me to grow like ASAP. Anyone that knows me personally, like, my growth has been really crazy. I've been putting in the work, but also I do think that there's been a lot of favor on my content and the things that I do for me to be able to see this amount of growth. So again, I think it comes back to, if there's something that you like, you know, we're not only put on this planet to like pray 24 hours. Yes, that's important, but I also do think that he made you like cooking for a reason. He made this person like cards for a reason. God is gonna put these little things into you. So my thing is, if you want to influence, bring it to God and see how you can use the things that you like for his glory. One thing that I really love about influencing that I honestly did not expect was getting messages of people just saying how I inspired them so much and I allowed them to get closer to God. I don't compromise my values for Instagram. That's a whole other subject. I think I'll actually make a video on that, like influencing and being a Christian, because it's very, very interesting. But essentially, I think you should just bring it to God, pray, see if this is something he wants you to do, and I believe that if it's within his will for your life, he's gonna allow it. How do I balance influencing in life? That's a very good question, because I'm still trying to figure that out. I will get in the zone and do that thing for hours and fixate on it and not want to stop until I'm done. It's cool, I'm super focused, but at the same time it's not good, because a lot of times I would stay up until 3 in the morning to create content, which is cool but not cool, because I'm not doing this full time. I still have a full-time job, which means that I'm losing sleep. Every second I have free time, I'm thinking content. I think I would burn out really fast and just be so mentally exhausted because my mind is always running. Some things I started doing is just choosing a few days during the week to create content. When I create content, I create in batch. Setting those kind of boundaries for myself helped. I still have a long way to go, honestly, and having people around me, like my family, my boo, like they really help me. They tell me like, you're doing a lot right now, especially my boyfriend. He's like, you're doing a lot right now, you gotta stop. Like, you've been on your phone this whole time and you're thinking about creating, you have to stop. And it's hard. At first I'd be like, oh, create content, but I'm so grateful. My brain was just about to, I was doing the most and a half. When did brands get to you? Tips for working with brands. Do I pitch? How did I get sponsorships? How many followers before? Brands started reaching out to me when I had around 3,000 to 4,000 followers. I only started pitching myself to brands recently. Brands have always been the one to reach out to me. How do you get brand deals? I think, again, everything that I spoke about in the first part, in my opinion, is how you set yourself up for success, for these brands to reach out to you. You build your community, you're consistent, you make great content, brands will reach out. If you don't see any of that, you can also pitch yourself to brands. Just go on their Instagram, go on their website, see if they have any emails for partnerships with influencers. Have a media kit, talk about yourself a little bit, and if they like you, they will get back to you. If not, keep going at it, and if they don't answer right away, keep working on your craft until they notice you, because they will. Trust me, they will. How did you organize your finances to start supporting your influencer journey? I have not. I have a full-time job, so yeah. I live at my parents' house. I just saved up my money from my day job to afford most of this equipment, and now I'm at a point where, because of those brands, I'm able to use that money from influencing to buy new content, hence this camera and stuff like that. That's kind of how I manage my finances in terms of influencing. Thoughts on Reels Play? I'm pissed that it's not available in Canada. There's so many good features on Instagram that are only for the United States, and I'm jealous, yes, because Canada's never on board. So shout out to the people that are getting all the money from Instagram from having a lot of plays on their reels. I have like 2 reels that are like at 1 million plus. A lot of them have hundreds of thousands of views. I don't get to see a penny from that, so I'm kind of salty, but I'm really happy for all of those that get to benefit. Last question: how do I start? Just do it. Like, you will never get anywhere if you don't start. So that's it for me, guys. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys liked it. This was so exciting to make. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions for me, put them in the comment section. I will answer them. If you're new here, you're still watching and you haven't subscribed, I think at this point it's time for us to have a deeper relationship. Subscribe to my channel. If you don't follow me on Instagram and you're interested, follow me on Instagram. You can also follow me on TikTok, and I will see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching.